Today's video you will learn the truth about drawing hyper-realistic drawing, why your drawing is not looks hyper-realistic, the difference between a realistic drawing and a grainy drawing, and what shade you have to pick and what shade you have to avoid, the shade that you pick that makes your drawing looks grainy, and the difference between these two shades, these two drawings that makes it realistic and makes it cheaper. And at the very end, even picking a normal paper can makes your drawing looks realistic, hyper-realistic and deep. So yeah, stay tuned until the end. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. So in today's video you will learn the truth about drawing hyper-realistic drawing, why your drawing is not looks hyper-realistic, the mistake that you make that makes your drawing looks grainy and unrealistic, and how to avoid them. And I also got a comment this evening that can you please draw the anime hair and make a video for it. So I just tell him that you have to DM me on my Instagram. I tell her that you have to DM me on my Instagram, so please DM me on my Instagram, send me the picture, the drawing that you draw, so I will help you. So okay, so here is the supply that we are going to use. The paper I'm going to use is the normalest paper, the normal thinner regular paper. You just pick any regular paper. You can see how thinner this paper is. Like this paper is so much thinner. If you just take him on like a light, you can see the behind of it is like so thin and like regular paper, so it's not like if you don't have a good quality paper your drawing never looks hyper-realistic. No, you can draw it with a normal paper too. So here is the supply, the pencils. I'm going to use the 5B grade pencil. The pencil tip needs to be sharp enough, make sure your pencil is sharp enough. And then the 3B grade pencil, 3B or it's a B grade 3B grade pencil and a B grade pencil. Here as you can see, B grade I use for a skin. You can use a F grade pencil if you are a beginner too. And here is the F grade pencil. You can use it for skin if you're a beginner. And a ball pen, a black ball pen. I use it for a darker shadow, but don't use a ball pen. If you don't have a darker grade pencil, you can use a color pencil, but don't use a ball pen because you're a beginner. And a soft eyeshadow brush for blending. If you don't have a like eyeshadow brush, you can use a cotton bud and tissue paper. And here is the supplies and the knead eraser. If you don't have a knead eraser, you can use a regular eraser. And I also use a 6B grade pencil, but if you have more darker grade pencil you can use it. And a white charcoal pencil for like highlights, but so it's okay if you don't have white charcoal pencil, you can use a normal eraser. So here is the supply that we are going to use. Now without further ado, let's get started. So first let's learn the difference between a realistic and a grainy drawing. And I'm sorry if the owner of this drawing is looking like watching this video, so I'm sorry. I just want to teach my audience that what is the difference between a realistic and a grainy drawing, and you can like see that what is a different, like you can easily see that. And the difference is the deepest darkest shadows. The difference is the darkest shadows. If you see the realistic one, it's have the darkest shadows, and the grainy one it don't have it. You just draw it like done it with the HB grade pencil maybe. So this is the difference between a realistic and a grainy drawing. And now I will show you the shades that the grainy one use and the shade that the realistic one use. So yeah, let's move on to that. Okay, so let's understand the shades that the darkest one use and the grainy ones use. And you can see that even a 8B or a 9B kind of darkest pencil is used on this darkest one and makes it looks realistic, like not a hyper realistic but realistic. As you can see, I just the tone that she used for I don't know, is used for like eyeball is the darkest one, for eyebrows is the darkest one, for lips are darkest. But on the other hand, if you see the grainy one, the shade that they use for eyeball is like so much grainy and lighter. Use it for eyebrows it's so much grainy and lighter, used for lips is grainy and lighter, and even for skin is grainy and lighter. And you can see that the stone that is used for dark on the darkest side for hair is like a deepest darkest, and the hair is like focused, draw it so much like a focused, and all the clumps are drawing clearly, but with the grainy side no clumps, and the shades is used is like a very lighter grainy shade. So the one pencil that is decided your drawing to make it look darker or grainy. If you want your drawing to be looks darker, realistic, and like a not grainy and like a deepest darkest, so you have to use a darkest grade pencil for it. You have to pick the darkest like a 8B, 7B, 6B, 4B. You can use like you can done the whole drawing with the HB grade pencil. I know everyone just tell on the like art school that you have to use a HB grade pencil, but no, HB grade pencil you can use it for outline and for skin maybe. Yeah, for skin you can use a more lighter pencil, but you have to move on slowly move on to the darkest grade pencil, even for skin too, for the deepest darkest shadows. And I already done that the pressure, like how much pressure you have to add and how much pressure you have to avoid, and what is like where you have to add the pressure on your pencil, and what stone you have to use for skin on my this one video. So if you haven't watched that one video, go first watch that one video. And I also teach that how to pick the right shade for your pencil for your reference. So picking a shade for this one drawing this one reference, you have to watch that video, and then you understand how to pick the right shade for your pencil. So yeah, without further ado, let's get started to our hyper realistic drawing and how to draw hyper realistic drawing. Yeah, let's move on. Okay, so I didn't show you any like what shade I use for this one reference in my this one video, but it's okay if you want the shade of this one drawing, like the hyper realistic one. If you want the shade, that which shade I use, so just DM me on my Instagram. I'll put the link on the description. Just DM me and send me the video screenshot that I want the shade of this one drawing, so I will send the picture of that. But if you want to learn how to pick the right pencil for your reference, how to pick the right shade for your reference, so I already done all of this thing on my this one video. So if you haven't watched that one video, go watch it that one video. Then you can pick any you can pick shade for any drawing, any reference. You can easily understand the shade. So yeah, first I use a 5B grade pencil for iris. I use a 5B grade pencil. Sorry, sometimes I just call iris eyeball, but like it's okay. Yeah, so I use a 5B grade pencil for eyeball, but it's okay if you have a more darker grade pencil. Like right now, like this is the darkest grade pencil I have. Like I also using a 6B grade pencil now this one drawing, but it's like so small, so this one pencil is like fitted more well with my hand, so that's why I use a 5B grade pencil. And I always work on darkest shadows. I first start the darkest shadows of the iris. I first start shading the upper side, the pupil, and the upper side darkest gray, and then I slowly like move on to the lightest area. And I use a ball pen for darkest gray. Don't use a ball pen. And I'm shading it for the lower eyelids. I shade it with the B grade pencil, and then blend it out, and then do some highlighted with the kneaded razor. As you can see, with the kneaded razor, after using a kneaded razor, I again use a 3B grade pencil to just darken up the darkest shadows. Now front area of the eye, I use a 3B grade pencil and just like shade it out, because there's not much like a darkest shadows or anything. And now for a white of the eye, I use a B grade pencil first and shade it lighter, as you can see, but I focus on the darkest shadows on the white of the eye as well. I first shade darkest area and then slightly like very smoothly shade it, and then blend it with a cotton bud. Again, cotton bud works so well like this kind of area. And then after that I add a highlighted with a kneaded razor. As I always say, you have to add a highlighted on a white of the eye. If you want your white of the eye to be looks realistic, you have to add a shades. And then I use a white charcoal pencil for some like more highlights. And then I use for the eyelashes, first I use a 5B grade pencil. because like I can directly move on to the like a pin, because for the darkest grade I use a pin, but if I don't use a pin, I use a 8B or 9B kind of darkest grade pencil. I just straightly go with that pencil and draw the eyelashes. But because I use a like, it's okay if you are beginner, so first draw the eyelashes with a lighter shade and then go with it. Now for the eyelid, I first use the B grade pencil, then blend it out, then use a 3B grade pencil for the darkest shadow. But again, I first focus on the darkest area, then slowly go with the lightest area and then blend it out. And then the wrinkles of the eye, I use it the 3B grade pencil for it, but with the light pressure, and somewhere I do higher pressure because the wrinkles like somewhere darker. And then like for eyelid line, I use a 5B grade pencil. Like eyelid line, you have to draw it darkest. The eyelid line need to be darkest. And now for the lower eyelid shadow, I first like dark it enough because like this drawing, she have a mascara on her eye, so that's why. And now for now with the B grade pencil, the upper side and the between the eyebrows and the eyelid, between skin of the eyebrows and eyelid, I first shade it with the B grade pencil, and I focus with the darkest shadows and then blend it out. And after blending, I use a 3B grade pencil. Like the how the process is: first I use a F grade B grade pencil. Before a beginner, you can use a F grade pencil, blend it out. Then after that, I use a 3B grade pencil for the darkest shadows, and I first start with the darkest shadows with the B grade pencil as well. After that, blending, and then I see if they need to be dark enough, I use a 5B grade pencil but with a very light pressure, and again blend it out, and again use a 5B grade pencil to darken up some dark shadow. And my drawing is shining here. I'm so sorry, it's like my drawings always start shining and I can just like notice it at the time. Now after that, I do some highlights with the regular eraser, and then I blend it out. But the highlights, I always leave the highlights like a proper highlight at the end, because if you add the highlighted at this like the between, it's like after at the end it looks grainy. Now after that, I start drawing the eyelashes, but first you have to draw it with a lighter pencil if you are beginner, and then just trace it over in with the darkest grade pencil. Now for the lower eyelid, the process is same, but here I just straightly go with the 3B grade pencil and then blend it out, and then again use a 3B grade pencil. But if you are beginner, straightly start with the B grade pencil first, blend it out, draw some wrinkles, draw some like eyelid lines, lower eyelid line with the same B grade pencil, blend it out, and at the end adding some shadows, and again just darken up some area that need to be dark enough, blend it out, adding again. And then for the lower eyelashes, I first draw it with the ball pen, but if you are beginner, again draw it with the lighter pencil and then trace over with the darkest grade pencil. Now with the 5B grade pencil, again I just step back and look at some area that need to be dark enough, and I just darken it enough with the 5B grade pencil, darken up some front side of the eyes. And now for the nose, I first know the nostril. Always start with the nostril first, like I always start with the nostril first with the 5B grade pencil. After that, I just do some shadows, darkest shadow, but then I straightly go with the B grade pencil, and I first shaded the darkest area. Again, I focus on the darkest shadows first. As you can see, I leave the lighter, but I focus on the darkest shadows first. I darken up some darkest shadow. Now I know that how the nose need to be looks like. Then I just blend it out with the soft eyeshadow brush, and then again just shade it with the B grade pencil. Here for a nose, because it's a skin area, I use a B grade pencil 2 times, and the end I use a 3B grade pencil because I don't want to mess with it first. For the skin, you have to be careful. Again, just darken up the nostril, and then I use a 5B grade pencil for the darkest shadows of the nose, but with the, like a lighter pressure, like a not too much lighter but a bit lighter pressure. Blend it out, use a ball pen, and then like a 5B grade pencil, blend it out. And now I know you think that why I use the eyeshadow brush and then like a eyeshadow brush and like a tissue paper and a cotton bud. Cotton bud I use for a darkest shadows, but not for skin, because if I use a cotton bud for a skin, like for a whole skin, it have some cheap marks and ugly looking marks. So for a skin, I use a tissue paper and a blending soft eyeshadow brush. So for skin, you have to use an eyeshadow brush and a tissue paper for skin. Now I add some highlights with the needle razor, and then I just again like a step back. For the lightest area, I use a B grade or 3B grade pencil, the lightest area of a skin, and then I add some highlights with the kneaded razor, and again just step back and darken up some darkest areas. Now here I just show you that how it actually looks like, because the hair is like shining so much. And now after that I use a 5B grade pencil again, but for nostril I used a black ball pen to make it like looks more dark enough. And then with the 5B grade pencil I just do some work on the darkest shadows. I just work until I feel the realisticness, I feel like it's enough. Now for the nose shadow I first draw it with 3B grade pencil because the shadow, and then like again use a 3B grade pencil, but at the end if I want it to be looks more darker I use a 5B grade pencil. And then at the end I add some highlights with the, like not at the end, but I add some highlights with the white charcoal pencil. And as I said that I leave the white the highlights at the end, but sometimes I add it because sometimes I just look at my drawing and it's not look like realistic, and I just didn't feel that what is a problem that makes it looks unrealistic. And then I just noticed that problem, and then I just like, let's add some highlights and then look at the how it looks like after highlight. Now with the with lips I first trace it, and then I used a 3B grade pencil. I first use a 3B grade pencil for a lips, but not a harder pressure but with the lighter pressure, but if you are beginner use a B grade pencil. And I first again work on the darkest area of the lips and leave the highlighted area highlighted, because if you want the highlighted area to be look so much highlight you have to leave it. And then I just trace over like do another for a second shade I use a 5B grade pencil. So for a lips first 3B grade pencil and then second the 5B grade pencil, blend it out and then work on a 5B grade pencil again on it. But if you notice me after 5B grade pencil I again use a lighter pencil. So I use it because the lighters have like a more sharper tip and more like a sharper and thinner tip. That's why I use a lighter pencil sometimes. Now for wrinkle of the lips, I hope I pronounce right, the wrinkles of the lips, I first use the 3B grade pencil, then blend it out over it. I use a 5B grade pencil, blend it out, again use a 3B grade pencil to darken up the wrinkles because the 3B have like a more thinner tip, and then again over it I use a 5B grade pencil. So for a lower lips 3B, 5B, 3B again, and then again 5B, and then I add a highlights with the regular eraser, and then just like again work on with the with the darkest pen, and then blend it out and then like a highlight with it. And I'm sorry I can't record like a half like a bit process that is left with the lips and the skin that between the nose and the lips, because my camera is like stopped, the recording is stopped, and I just didn't realize at the time. Now for the eyebrows I first shaded the surface with the 3B grade pencil, blend it out and draw the eyebrow here with the 3B grade with the 5B grade pencil, sorry. And how do I draw the eyebrow? Like if you want that to learn how to draw the eyebrows, how to do the eyelashes, eyes, nose, lips on my, so if you haven't watched that, so my this one video I already covered, so if you haven't watched that video go watch that one video. But for the eyebrows, like I first add a pressure and then at the end of the hair I release it, so it looks like a thicker root and a thinner end hair. And now for the chin I first use the 3B grade pencil, sorry, I just do some focus on the darkest shadows with the chin, and then blend it out with the cotton bud and leave the highlighted area highlighted. And then I use a 5B grade pencil for the like a deepest darkest shadows of the lower side of the lips and blend it out, and then with the light pressure I shade it with the 5B grade pencil, and then again over it I use a 3B grade pencil, because sometimes I need like a more thinner tip, and sometimes I just blend it out and don't want it to be like too much darker, so that's why I use a lighter grade pencil over it, because after blending the darkest get lighter, so if you have to step back and make it more darker. And then with the 3B grade pencil again I just darken up the lower side of the chin with the 3B grade pencil, and then just draw the outline, make the outline a bit darker with the 3B grade pencil. Now for the skin I first use the B grade pencil, like the B grade pencil for skin first, and then like if you are beginner, use the F grade pencil. I first focus of with the darkest shadows of the skin with the B grade pencil, and then blend it out. After that, again I use a B grade pencil, because I always say you have to be careful with the skin. You have to use the B grade pencil or F grade pencil for skin, and you have to use them 2 times and then blend it out maybe 3 or 4 times, and after that you have to use the B grade pencil if you want the darkest shadows to be more darker. Then again I blend it out with the blending brush, and then again work it on with the B grade pencil again, because 3 times you have to work on the B grade pencil if you don't want to mess up. And again I focus on the darkest shadows first. I first focus on the darkest shadows, the shadows of the hair with the B grade pencil, and then again I just blend it out. And then now after that I use a 5B grade pencil. I skip the 3B grade pencil. If you have to use the 3B grade pencil, then I just make the I work on the darkest areas with the 5B grade pencil. I first work on the darkest areas, as you can see, the darkest shadows of the hair, and then some darkest shadows of the chin area, and leave the lightest area lighter. And I didn't add any pressure, but I added just a little bit, like I just didn't just free my pencil. You have to add a bit pressure, but like a bit pressure for the skin, like just bit pressure. And then like as you can see, I'm still just working on the darkest shadows of the face, and then again I blend it out with the soft blending eyeshadow brush. Just blend it out. I blended out the highlight area and the darkest area together, and then at the end I add some highlight so it looks like a more natural and realistic. Again, just step back, working on some of the darkest shadows, because when you just shaded the nose and the lips and the eyes, but when you shade the skin, the nose and the lips looks like a lighter, so you have to step back and darker and just like balance the deepest darkest shadows of the skin and the nose and the skin and the lips and everything like this. Now the second eye, the eyebrows, I use it the 3B grade pencil for it, and just like blend it out the skin. And now I use a ball pen to make the lips and the lower side shadows of the lips darker. Don't use a ball pen, use a dark color pencil, but don't use a ball pen. And then as you can see, I'd make it darker, and as you can see, after dark enough, so after doing some a bit deeper darkest shadows, like a one darker shadow, how the realistic the drawing start looks like. So you can now you know that how much the darkest shadows is important, how much the darkest shadow is meaningful with the sketch. So you have to draw the darkest shadows, like not for sketch, the painting, drawing everywhere, you have to draw the darkest shadows. Now I use the 6B grade pencil for the darkest shadow, but with the very light pressure. Like it looks like I add a pressure, but I didn't add any pressure. With the very light pressure, I use a 3B grade pencil, sorry, the 6B grade pencil for the darkest shadow. Now it's shining, so that's why like you didn't notice that how dark enough it looks like, but it looks like much darker after 6B grade pencil. Blend it out with the soft cotton, with the tissue paper, because tissue paper works so well with the skin blending. It's like blend everything so well. Now for the darkest shadows of the hair, the darkest shadow skin of the between of these two hair, I use the 5B grade pencil, and then after that like a 6B grade pencil and 3B grade. And now for the like a forehead, I first use the B grade pencil, blend it out, then a 3B grade pencil for the darkest shadows the forehead, and then blend it out with the tissue paper, because tissue paper works so well with the skin. And then I use a black ball pen again to step back and darken up some darkest shadows, and then again use a 6B grade pencil and darken up some more like the darkest shadows that is left over darkest shadows. And then adding some highlights with the regular eraser. Now it's a highlight time, my favorite time, and adding some highlights because the light is hitting from front side. That's why I add some like the shadows with the front side. And if you want like understand the light is where the light is hit from, and what like how to add the right shadows, how to pick the right pencil, so again please watch it that way video, it's helped you so much with it. And as you can see, I adding a highlights with the regular eraser, but after highlight you have to blend it out, and then after blending again do a highlight so it looks much realistic. Now I use a white charcoal pencil to make the highlights looks more like more highlighted and realistic, but it's okay if you don't have a white charcoal pencil, you can use a regular eraser, the thinner area, the corner of a regular eraser, you can use it. Now as we can see, with the white charcoal pencil I add some highlights. Now with the 3B grid pencil I'll just step back and some darkest shadows, but like not too much darker shadow, that's why I use the 3B grid pencil. Now for the ball pen, I darken up the hair of the eyebrows and the eyelashes, the other eyebrow, and then again just step back, darken up some darkest shadows. Like I'm adding a darkening the shadows again, blend it out again until I feel the realisticness. So you have to do the same. But when you feel that your drawing start looks grainy, you have to add some highlights, you have to lighten up some area and darken up some area, so then your drawing looks balanced. But the only reason that after adding so much darker shadow your drawing not looks realistic and looks grainy, because the highlights and the darkest shadows and the lightest area is not balanced. You have to balance it to make it looks more realistic. You have to balance the darkest shadows, you have to balance the white shadows and the highlights and the darker shadows. You have to balance them. Now after now for the neck, I first use the 3B grade pencil. I start with the darkest shadows, blend it out. Again I use a 5B grade pencil, blend it out, and at the end I use a 6B grade pencil. Then now I add some highlights. Now again I'm adding a highlight with the white charcoal pencil. It's okay if you don't have, you can use a regular eraser. And then just as you can see, I'm adding a shadows, blend it out, adding a highlight, blend it out, again highlights, shadows. Now now it's time to draw her hair, and I first trace her hair with the 5B grade pencil, because after that I'm going to use a ball pen, so that's why I first draw her hair. But if you are a beginner, first draw it with the the HB or the B grade pencil or the F grade pencil, and then after you feel that the hair looks good, the outline is perfect, then you can use the darkest grade pencil to shade it over it. And then I fill it with the B grade pencil, with the 5B grade pencil. I fill the hair because the hair is because the light is hitting from front side, reflecting from front side. That's why the hair looks like a fully black and darker. That's why I didn't see any hair stroke, though. That's why I didn't draw it. So it's like fully black, that's why I just fully fill it. But they have some like highlights, so I leave the highlighted area. And I'm sorry if the video is like too much fast forward, because I never done a whole portrait in a one video like this. My first time to done it, because I want to help you more with your hyper-realistic drawings. So I hope this video is helpful for you. And now I use a ball pen over it, and then I draw some flyaway hair to make it look darker, and some darker because the light is hitting from front side, so I make the back side looks more darker, so it looks more natural. And at the end I just add some highlights. So yeah, and the other side of the hair I draw it, not drawing in this video, I draw it like I just done it and then show you the final result. And I hope that you understand today's video. I hope you learned something. I hope this video is helpful for you. I hope you understand. If you didn't understand, if the video is too much fast forward or I just do some mistake and anything, just comment me down below. And if you have like any trouble or drawing like anything on skin, hair, so just comment down below. I will make a separated video for you. But I already make so much video about the skin, eyes and everything. So if you haven't watched that one videos, go first watch it. It helps you so much. Now the flyaway hair, I draw it, and this is my favorite part to draw. I really like drawing flyaway hair. I really like adding a highlights and some darkest shadows. And I'm so sorry for a background noise. I hope this video is helpful for you. I hope you learned something. Again, I hope you find this video helpful, and if you draw your hyper realistic drawing and if it's turned out very well according to my instruction, what I tell you and what things I have tell you, so just send me the picture of your drawing on my Instagram. I really like to watch you, see you. I really like to know that I just help you through your art journey. Thank you so much guys for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, share and comment, and I will see you in my next video. Bye. Thank you so much. And there you can see the final result. And after skin, I have to say that after drawing a hair, I see that the skin looks lighter, so I balance the darkest shadows of the skin and the hair. Like, it's important to balance the darkest shadows of the skin after drawing I already said that after drawing a hair you have to step back and balance the skin shadows of the skin, because if you didn't balance it and the hair looks much darker than a skin, like I don't say that you have to darken up the skin and to get together, but if the hairs looks much darker than the skin, your drawing never looks realistic. So you have to balance it, and here is the final result.